Okay, so if you're a founder, especially a tech founder, this one's for you. You've got this huge nagging question, right? How do you know people actually want your product before you go and build the whole thing? Well, today we're going to dive into exactly that, how to de-risk your big idea without writing a single line of code.
I mean, this is the nightmare scenario, isn't it? You spend months, maybe even years, pouring your heart and soul into this beautiful, elegant code. You finally launch, and crickets. Nothing. Honestly, this right here, it's the silent killer for so many startups.
You know, the natural impulse is just to build first and figure out the rest later. But by the time later comes around, you've already burned through your most precious resources, your time and your energy. The good news, there is a much smarter, way faster way to see if your idea has legs, and it means flipping that entire process completely on its head. All right, so here's the game plan for the next few minutes. We're going to start with a big mistake, the code-first trap. Then we'll talk about the no-code mindset. After that, we get practical, how to fake a product. We'll see how that turns into signal and leverage, and then this is cool, how it can even help protect your core idea. We'll wrap it all up with a simple mantra, build less, learn more. Okay, first up, the code-first trap. Look, if you're an engineer, your default setting is to solve problems by building stuff. It's what you do, it's your superpower. But, and this is a big but, early on, that superpower can actually be super risky.
And here's the thing. The second you write that first line of code, you're locked in. It's your baby. You start defending it, and you don't even realize you're doing it, but you start twisting the problem to fit the solution you've already made. No code, on the other hand, keeps you nimble. It's like dating instead of getting married on the first date. You can test an idea, and if the feedback is meh, you just move on. No emotional baggage, no technical debt.
So how do we dodge that trap? Well, it really comes down to a fundamental shift in your thinking. It's all about shifting from, I need to build, to, I need to learn.
Just look at the difference here. The old way of thinking, the assumption, is all about output. Build fast, ship features, optimize the code. But the new strategy, it's all about input. Learn fast, get a real signal from the market, and, this part is so important, make your idea earn the right to be built. Your job isn't to be the fastest builder, it's to be the fastest learner.
And this is such a powerful way to think about it. You're not skipping steps here, you're skipping waste. This isn't some cheap shortcut. It's a brilliant strategic move to avoid burning time, energy, and money on something nobody actually wants. You're cutting through all the noise to answer the one question that matters at the very beginning. Does anyone care?
And let's get one thing straight. This isn't just for, simple little apps. You could be building a super complex AI company. The goal of no-code testing isn't to build something simple. The goal is to get a clear signal from the market as fast as humanly possible.
Okay, so that's the mindset, the why. But what about the how? How do you actually do this stuff? Let's get super practical and talk about how you can literally fake a product and get started like tomorrow. All right, one of my favorite techniques is called the concierge method. This is basically where you become the Wizard of Oz for your product. To the user, it looks like a slick, automated experience. But behind the curtain, it's just you, manually doing all the work. It's scrappy as hell, but it's an unbelievably fast way to see if people want what you're selling, especially for a complicated service. And it's pretty simple to set up. First, just map out the user's journey step by step. Then grab some simple tools to fake it. Like a Typeform or a Google form for input, maybe a Loom video as a demo. You are the backend. And the most important part, give them something to click. Anything. Why? Because that click, that interaction, that's where the truth is. People are terrible at predicting what they'll do. If you ask them, hey, would you use this? They'll probably be nice and say yes. But their actions, what they actually click on, where they get bored and leave, that's pure unfiltered data. That's your first real metric. Okay, now all these little tests might seem small, but trust me, they add up to something huge. They build leverage. And nowhere is that leverage more powerful than when you're talking to investors. Let's do a little thought experiment. I want you to pretend you're an investor and you're about to hear two different pitches for the exact same idea. Okay, on the one hand, you've got the dream. We're going to build an app for X. It's all vision, all future tense. On the other hand, you've got the data. We faked a user flow, got 10 people to jump on a call, and 2 of them literally offered to pay us. Which one sounds better to you? The second pitch isn't a guess. It's proof that you're already executing. It's not even a contest.
So, the big takeaway here is that you're not just testing an idea, you're actively building real assets for your company. You're building a roadmap based on data, not guesses. You're building a pitch deck that has actual traction in it. You're building a list of your first true believers. You're even building a brand presence before you've even launched anything.
All right, now this next part is where this whole strategy goes from just being smart to being your secret weapon. Seriously. We're going to talk about the surprising connection between all this no-code testing and your company's actual intellectual property. Let me ask you this. Where is your company's most valuable IP? Most founders would immediately point to their code. But what if that's wrong? What if your most valuable, most defensible asset isn't the code at all?
Because often, it's not in the code. Your real secret sauce is the unique insight you discover through all this testing. It's that special workflow, that non-obvious thing you learned about how people behave. It's not just what you build, but the why behind it. That is your real competitive moat.
And here's the kicker. You can actually file patents on that stuff. On the method, on the system, on the behavioral insight. You're not patenting a bunch of code. You're patenting the discovery itself. And you can do this way before you've built out the final tech, giving you a real, defensible advantage from day one. It's a total game changer. So all of this really brings us to the final big idea, the mindset shift that ties everything we've talked about together. And it's this. Your product can wait. Your learning can't. Just let that sink in for a second. Your job as a founder isn't to build things. It's to learn what's worth building. And thinking this way, prioritizing learning, it isn't slowing you down. It's actually speeding you up. It makes sure that when you finally do write that code, you're doing it with total confidence because you've got the data to back it up. So I'll leave you with this question. What is the single biggest assumption that your entire company is built on? And what's the fastest, scrappiest, no-code way you could test that assumption? Tomorrow. Go figure that out, because that's where the real work begins.